Game week 9 was another bitterly disappointing week for my fantasy Premier League team. After a promising start, my team has been set back by injuries and have struggled of late, so I suppose I'm a bit like Gary Monk of Swansea. This week just gone has been my worst performance of the season, and I've slipped down into mid-table in the overall standings. Another few weeks like this and I'll be Brendan Rodgers and out of my job, as I think I'll be thinking of sacking myself if I fall much lower. This is how my team did then. My points tally was hit hard by Swansea's loss to Stoke on the Monday night game. Kyle Norton joins Antonio Valencia, Joe Gomez, Luke Shaw and Mark Muniesa as my defenders who have lost their place in their teams for one reason or another, and have led to my team having so many defensive casualties, and have led to me signing so many defenders, which I think is a bit of a waste of my free transfers so far this season. So I think that's why I've been so average. But I mean, I can only get better once my luck starts to get better. I took a 4 points hit getting rid of another defender, Mark Muniesa, for Ashley Williams for game week 9, and that cost me points with Williams conceding the penalty, which led to Bojan's goal and picking up a yellow card too in that game. Also, Bafétimbi Gomez failed to get on the score sheet in the same game, which is rare for him at the Liberty. My team was littered with other failures, but it wasn't all bad. My captain, Kevin De Bruyne, getting a solitary assist, and Dimitri Payet scoring in my midfield. Elsewhere, Begovic and Zuma helped Chelsea to their only second clean sheet in the league so far this season. But it went down as a poor week with those taking deductions to get Costa and Rooney in their teams, making up the points. I gambled by keeping Aguero on the bench, hoping that other strikers wouldn't be able to make up the 4 points hit. But Costa and Rooney were in the goals and in the points as well. My team mainly suffered in defence though, with all of the big six clubs except Man City keeping clean sheets. Unfortunately, I only had Kurt Zuma out of all of those defenders, and elsewhere in the Premier League there are only two other clean sheets kept by West Brom and Stoke, which is why the week's average is so high. So I've slipped down into over the 1 million mark, but it's not all bad. I mean, I can still claw it back and turn my season around. In a similar situation to Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool. So moving swiftly on to game week 10. So this is my team for game week 10 then, and Butland wins his place in my goal, who is actually in better form than the man who he replaced as Stoke goalkeeper, with Begovic away at West Ham having a tough fixture. Jack Butland is in the form of his life for Stoke at the moment, and has claimed the number 1 jersey for England. So I'm very pleased with the progress Jack Butland has made, not just with him in my fantasy football team, but also as a Stoke fan, and I'm quite happy with him taking the place of ex-Stoke keeper Asmir Begovic, who has had a mixed start to his Chelsea career. So as a Stoke fan, for personal reasons, very optimistic about Jack Butland at home to Watford. So it's a very attack-minded lineup with 3 up front and 4 in midfield, and I really hope Swansea keep a clean sheet away at Villa, and I think it's a great fixture for them to get the season back on track against a similarly struggling Villa side who are in the relegation area at the moment and don't look like getting themselves back out of it in the near future. So, it's worrying times for Villa fans, and I expect Swansea to keep a clean sheet against them. But hopefully Kyle Norton wins his place back for Swansea, having lost his place in the Swansea left-back position before and just after the international break, but he's just returning from injury, so I'm hoping that Gary Monk is just letting him have time to get back to full fitness. I quite like Kyle Norton as a marauding left back, so he should win his place back with Angel Rangel performing so poorly in the Stoke game, and Taylor on the other side also struggling against Stoke. So I do like Kyle Norton as a fantasy player. He likes to get forward and get assists, which is why I signed him for my team. Swansea have good fixtures coming up. I expect them to improve, just like I expect my FPL team to improve, which is why I compared myself to Gary Monk at the start of the video, because my team is very much like Swansea at the moment. I've captained Bafétimbi Gomis because I think it's a perfect game for him against the Villa defence, which is struggling at the moment. So I expect Gomis to get on the score sheet. And of all the players in my attack, I think he will probably score the most points, with De Bruyne, Mata and Martial in the same game up against tough defences, and Costa, you never know what he's going to do. Payet, Chelsea at home, it could go both ways, and Mahrez against a tough Palace defence will be an interesting one. So that's my team for game week 10. Let me know what your team is. Let me know if you think that I should make a 4-point hit. So far my season has been a tale of minus 4-point hits. Sometimes I've done them and they haven't paid off, like game week 9, and sometimes like the Aguero example I gave, maybe I should have made the 4-point hit. I've got Diego Costa in my team for game week 10, and just like De Bruyne, I should have done the transfer a week earlier for a 4-point hit, but Diego Costa is back in my team, even though I was really frustrated by him with him and his antics in the Arsenal game, but he's back in my team because he looks like getting back into form, having admitted that he was unfit at the start of the season, but he looks to have reached a better standard of fitness, judging by the Villa game where he caused the Villa defence all sorts of problems. So Diego Costa, I expect will score goals in the next few games.